Hey, it's Parshat Chukat. A few things happen in this week's Parsha, and I'd like to try and connect it afterwards to what's going on today. Not today, these days in Israel, as I always do. I don't think we'll get to the prayer element, but maybe Hashem will help. Okay, so in this week's Parsha, we have a few things happening, but most importantly, Miriam dies. Miriam, who is Moshe's sister, dies, and in her merit, we have the Jewish people had throughout their 40 years in the desert, they had a well that kind of went along with the Jewish people and provided these rivers of water for the Jewish people to drink from. And when she died, because it was in her merit, the well dried up and the Jewish people didn't have any water to drink. So they complained, of course, and they said, we're dehydrating. What are we going to do? We're going to die. And Moshe goes to Hashem and says, what am I supposed to do with these people? They're freaking out. They don't have any water. And Hashem said, no problem. Just speak to the rock. Tell the rock, please provide water for the Jewish people. And the water will gush with water. No problem. The rock will just open up and gush with water, and all is going to be great. And there'll be a huge miracle. And Moshe, instead of doing that, was kind of like a little bit freaking out, like he lost it. Okay, I must say he lost it. Now, I don't want to say that because Moshe is a tremendous leader, so obviously we mean on his level. It's not like you or I losing it, we really lose it. But he was yelling at the Jewish people, and he said, come on over here, listen up, you rebels, come over here. Now God is going to redeem you or save you, so come over here. And he took his stick, and hit the rock twice. It says he hit it twice. And of course, then the water came out, which is also a miracle, just by the way. And there was water for everybody to drink, and everything was okay. But then Hashem revealed himself to Moshe and Aaron, actually. Seems to have also blamed Aaron. Hashem also seems to have blamed Aaron for the fact that he didn't stand up and calm Moshe down, or tell Moshe to, actually speak to the rock like God said. And he said, the two of you are no longer going to be able to go into the land of Israel with the Jewish people, because Ya'an lo he'emantem bi lahakdisheni le'inei kol b'nei Yisrael, because you didn't believe in me to sanctify me in the face of the Jewish people, in front of the Jewish people. So you're not going to go into the land of Israel. Now, that seems a little bit disproportionate, if you ask me, after all the work that Moshe Rabbeinu put in to this job of leading the Jewish people through the desert for 40 years, putting up with so much, not good stuff, so much stuff, and putting in so much effort and so much investment in these people, and now you don't get to the land of Israel just because you lost it for 1 second. And not only lost it, but you didn't do exactly as Hashem said. I mean, it's also a miracle to hit a rock and to expect that water will come out of it. Doesn't that also sanctify God's name, it feels like? So, Netzivat Shalom says a beautiful thing, and we have to really take this seriously because this applies to each and every one of us. He says like this: the thing about trusting God, first of all, a little bit of a context of history. Here is when the Jewish people were about to go into the land of Israel. Now, if you remember, we spoke about this a couple of parshas ago, that the land of Israel is based on trust of God. If you do not trust in God, and you don't have really serious emunah, you just cannot live and survive and thrive for sure in the land of Israel. Land of Israel is supernatural, and you need to believe it. You need to believe that Hashem is there with you and taking care of you and loves you. And you need to believe all of that in order for it to work. For the ability for the Jewish people to live in the land of Israel is dependent upon trust and emunah. So now, the thing about emunah and trust is that you have to the extent that you actually trust in Hashem, in that extent, Hashem replies and responds to you. Meaning Hashem is your reflection, Hashem is your shadow, okay? What that means is that to the extent that you really rely on Him, He will follow through, and he will respond, and he will give you, and even miraculous things will happen to the extent that you totally trust him. But if you kind of trust him, you have some emunah, you have some belief, but you also believe that you need to put in effort. And to the extent that you put in effort, that's to the extent to which you will receive results. Okay? Then, like if you think, I need some business ability, I need some marketing ability in order to get clients, I need to do some hishtadlut, I need to do some effort. So if you really believe that you will bring results by your effort, then Hashem pulls back a little bit and he says, okay, so put in the effort. So then you actually do need to put in effort. You know what I'm saying? So to the extent that you rely on Hashem, you can rely on Hashem. But to the extent that you rely on yourself, you need to put in more effort. So what happened here? Moshe kind of lost it. And I think, first of all, two things. I think he may have lost it because, of course, it's all on his level, and he's a tremendous prophet and leader, and far be it from me to say anything, but the Torah is saying that he did a tremendous sin here. So what I think happened is that, first of all, he just lost his sister, his loving sister, his older sister, his nurturing sister, his sister who was really responsible for him being born, because before he was born, her parents, kind of separated, because Amram, her father, felt that, they're killing the boys, they're throwing the babies into the Nile, we're not going to have kids anymore. I think that's a better idea. Let's not bring children into a Holocaust. And Miriam approached her father and said, with all due respect, I'm only 7 years old, and I don't really know, but I do have trust that Hashem will save us. How could you give this message over to the Jewish people that they're not going to have any more children, and let's just give up and fold up our tents and move on and not have a Jewish people? That's crazy. You need to trust Hashem. Hashem is going to save us. And you need to just put one foot in front of the other. You have to continue to bring children into the world if you can, and Hashem will take care of the other side of the story. So just like she was giving him this message of trust, you need to trust in Hashem. When her father really didn't see the hope at the end of the tunnel. He didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So she was that kind of a person. Not only that, she also told the Jewish women to bring out tambourines from Egypt because there was going to be a lot of room to celebrate and reason to sing and to thank Hashem for all the miracles that he does. So she was a very optimistic, positive, looking forward, seeing how Hashem loves us and how Hashem is going to help us out. And she died. So Moshe was left a little bit bereft, and he was, I don't think that he was lacking in his emunah, but he wasn't so optimistic anymore. And he sees the Jewish people on such a low level, really, because they're complaining nonstop, everything that happens. And he's also maybe thinking, I brought them to this point. They're about to go into the land of Israel. They have to live on a high level of trust, and they're not there yet. So he kind of was yelling at them and calling them rebels because he wanted to get them to shake them up and to wake them up and to tell them, you guys have to really get your act together. We're about to go into the land of Israel. And says Hashem, this is not how a leader behaves, and this is not going to work for you to take the Jewish people into the land of Israel if this is your attitude. And what is your attitude? Your attitude is you don't believe in these people's ability to move forward from where they're at now. You think they're on such a low level of trust and emunah that you think you need to put in so much effort by hitting the rock twice. That is showing that you think that they're on a very low level, and in order to get them to get onto a higher level, you can't really rely on a miracle. You need to put in effort. So you need to hit the rock twice. Now, of course, it's still a miracle if Hashem makes water come out of a rock, but it's not as strong of a miracle, and it means that you're putting in some elbow grease. You're putting in some effort by hitting that rock twice. You're showing Hashem, oh, I'm on this very low level, so I can't really rely on a miracle, so I'm going to put in more effort in order to receive the results where you are going to bring the water out of the rock. So Yehuda, everything okay? So in any case, on the other hand, Hashem was trying to show the Jewish people that I love you anyway. And there's no such thing as a situation that is not repairable, that is not fixable. And yes, you're on a low level of emunah, but you can get out of it. And you can learn that I love you anyway, and I'm going to bring you miracles anyway. And I'm going to do this amazing miracle where Moshe just speaks to the rock and tons of water flow. And I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to be encouraging because I want you, Jewish people, to believe in yourselves, in your own inner ability to get out of the situation, of this negative situation that you're in, and to start feeling that I really love you, says Hashem. Hashem is trying to show them by this miracle that Moshe just insisted on not cooperating with. Hashem wanted to show them that he loves them and that they are going to go into the land of Israel and they are going to do just fine and they are going to merit lots of miracles. So he wanted them to believe in themselves. And this is what he says. He says, more than the Yetzer Hara wants you to sin, each and every one of us, we really have to take this message very, very clearly. The Yetzer Hara is always trying to clip your wings and to show you that you messed up and that there's no way out of this. And this is what he's saying. The biggest way in which a Yetzer Hara tries to get you is לקצץ את כנפי רוחו, to clip your wings. שלא יאמין בכוחות העילאיים הטמונים בו, to not believe in the incredible powers that you have a piece of Hashem in you, that you can do anything, that you are connected to Hashem in a bind that will never, ever weaken, that Hashem loves you no matter what. And as soon as you do a sin, the worst thing that can happen is for you to say, I messed up, forget it, I'm never going to get out of this, I am never going to go back to the way I used to be, I'm just unfixable. I'm just not going to work. It's not going to work out. And that is the worst thing. He's going to despair from ever returning to the place where he was at. So Hashem, that's why Hashem said, listen, Moshe, this is a really bad thing that you did because you discouraged them. You showed them. You're angry at them. You're calling them rebels. You're basically putting a definitive term that this is who they are. How about say, you guys are incredible. You have such amazing strength. Hashem loves you. Hashem's going to do everything to help you. Please live up to that because we're about to go into the land of Israel and we're seriously going to need some miracles. So believe in yourselves. Instead, he said, you are rebels. You're on a very low level. I need to put in 2 hits on the rock to show you that you're at such a low level. That is not a leader. That is not the way that we are going to lead you and encourage you to go into the land of Israel. So heavy. And we really have to realize that for ourselves, and especially today, this day and age. We're in Israel, and a lot of things are difficult, and things seem to be very discouraging. And it's been almost 2 years. And we have a right to mourn and to grieve and to think that things are difficult. No question about it. But at the same time, we also have to believe in in the Jewish people as a whole, in our nation's ability to be worthy of a tremendous salvation and for us to be worthy of miracles. And we should not go around saying, this group of people are really messing up and this group of people are really messing up. And we as a whole, the Jewish people, are at such a low level. How can we ever merit to see miracles? We are going back to the way it was before the 7th of October. There's so much disunity. There's so many disputes among the Jewish people. There's so much hatred. There is not hatred among the Jewish people. And if you feel hatred, you need to work on yourself, okay? You really need to work on yourself. You need to judge favorably every single group of Jewish people and even yourself. you need to work on judging yourself favorably and on feeling like we have such kohot, we have such amazing powers among the Jewish people. Never speak against a group of Jews, okay? Never, even if you disagree with what they're doing. Never speak against them. We always have to just judge each other favorably and judge ourselves favorably, feel compassion for ourselves, feel like we're doing a great job given the resources that we have, given the circumstances that we're in. And we have to know that Hashem loves us no matter what. And we are worthy of miracles. And Hashem will bring us a miracle. And Hashem will bring Mashiach. And Hashem will bring us the hostages back. Each and every one of them. The 20 surviving alive hostages, Hashem will bring them back. Even the 21. I think there's 21 alive. That's what I think. And the bodies of everybody else in order to bury them in a proper burial. I think we're worthy because we are Hashem's children and Hashem loves us. And I think we just have to go ahead and love each other and love ourselves. And that's what's going to happen. Okay, have a good Shabbos.